Hello, welcome to Chrysalis Invictus for your Wednesday energy check-in. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you find it, it doesn't have to be a Wednesday. That's just when I post them. And we're going to see, we have 4 different piles. We're going to see what messages there are for you. I'm going to do some channeling. I'm going to read the cards and see if we can get you some advice for your energetic body, your auric field, or your life in general, the energies that are surrounding you. So taking a nice deep breath in now, closing the eyes. We like to call in your guides, my guides, any energies, entities, spirits, teachers, ancestors that wish to be here with us today to help us to receive these messages for our highest good and the good of the collective. And breathing out through the nose, feel yourself ground down through your root. Feel your shoulders relax, softening the eyes open, using your intuition to select a pile, and I will meet you at your reading. All right, if you chose pile number 1, this is your reading. Pile number 1, or the drum. This is a very interesting, powerful reading, okay? You have the drum, the sorcerer, and the ancient ones from the Shaman's oracle. This is a call, and with the wolf spirit, this is a call from the earth. This is a message from the earth. There's something that's trying to come through to you through your root chakra. There's a kind of stability of that channel that's needed, okay? What I was getting is that it's almost like it feels overwhelming to be receiving this information. You may be receiving it, most likely you're receiving it in your body. And it is from the base up. It's from the earth up. And sometimes this can kind of feel energetically like there's an earthquake happening, or that you can feel the earth's plates moving. It's that kind of feeling. And this is really tuning you into earth's energy. There is, I think the frequency is 174. You might want to check that one out. Or any other frequency that's going to get you in touch with your root chakra or the core of the earth, okay? Because what is coming through is from that, it's almost like a magnetic charge that's coming from the center of the earth. So, sometimes people say downloads. This is the opposite of that. It's an upload. Ugh, I don't like that language. It's just, it's incredibly powerful. We have the page of earth and the messenger of water. This is interesting because it's 2 different ways of receiving this message. One is through, I'm feeling like it's in your blood, okay? There's this, your blood related to your emotions, the way that you process your emotions. There's something about perhaps your mother or someone like a feminine figure in your family. So it could be a grandmother, it could be an aunt, someone that's had an influence on you. The way that they process their emotions is not allowing things to flow. And there's a way that you adopted certain habits of processing in the same way, and it's blocking the flow. There's a disrupted flow here. There is this sort of stunted development as well because of it. Like with the 7 of air, this is a card generally about deception or lies or getting away with something. But it's almost in this feels like getting away with something because of an innocence, because there's a perfectly good excuse for why someone is that way. So I feel like there is a need to take a look at that in yourself, take a look at that in others, in the people that are close to you. and the kind of resistance that you have to good and beautiful things. This reading is really talking about, with the cat spirit here, it says claim your independence. I feel like you are currently in your energetic self and in your magical self working on that with the sorcerer, clarified by the Seven of Air, clarified by the cat. This is telling a story of someone who is trying to break the chains, trying to break the idea that they need this parental figure in order to move forward. Sometimes people like this form those bonds with us because they feel like they wouldn't be worth anything, or they wouldn't be loved, or they wouldn't be needed if they didn't create this need in someone else. Or perhaps it was created by their parents, and so they're just continuing a tradition of codependence, or and it's also a function of control, right? And with the cat, this cat is so insanely decorated, and it gives me this feeling that you have perhaps tried to achieve things for this person. You've tried to be everything that they wanted, and it didn't matter how many decorative things, how many awards you won, or how many things you achieved. It never was enough, and that was internalized. So I see you as being someone who doesn't necessarily celebrate their achievements, and that's something that is going to be really powerful for this sorcery that's coming forward, is to celebrate your achievements. That's the advice that's coming from the sorcerer. With the drum, the page of earth, and the wolf spirit, this is that powerful earth current. I feel like this is the core of your being. I feel that you are able to communicate messages from the earth through your body. I feel that you receive a lot of information in your body, and so when you are, perhaps you think you're not an intuitive person, or you think that you don't have any of the clairs, any of the clairvoyance or clairaudience or something like that, but there's a strong clairsentience here. There's the ability to understand things through your body that may be underdeveloped with the page. And this is, the wolf spirit says turn knowledge into wisdom. And I think that is the process that you're being called into. The drum is a call. The drum is a call into a primal sensibility. And the page is still a student. The page is still learning. But you see, the page has antlers, and the antlers connect into those subtle pulses in the air. That's why the shamans wore them, because it connects you into things. So it gives you a deeper sense of the forest and the environment. And I feel that's what you're doing, is you're kind of sending nerves out beyond your body. They've always been there, actually. It's more that you're becoming aware of it, and this is something that you can fine tune. And with the wolf, I feel like wolf is very much a guide for you here. I feel like cat is very interesting, because cat to me feels like something, perhaps an entity within your home, or a familiar, or just a pet who has given you, it's almost in your observance of how cat manages the home environment or relates to dependence. It's like you could learn something from the cat. With wolf is tuned in. My parents had a dog that was part wolf, and he would walk outside and he would just sit there for a moment or stand there and you could see it. He was feeling and sensing everything that was around him. He was tuning into all of the vibrations, and he was feeling it in his body, right? Like, it wasn't necessarily a cognitive process. It was more that he was receiving all of the information. You know, he was feeling out, are there any small animals on my property that I can hunt? Or, you know, what are the different smells in the air? Are there predators nearby? There's this kind of sensibility within a wolf. And again, like, I really feel like studying animals for some reason is going to be really key for you to tune into those energies in a more advanced state, or maybe you're there already. You may want to shapeshift into those animals and really, you know, with the sorcerer, the drum, and the ancient ones, I feel that you are capable of doing this work. This is very deeply shamanic energy that's coming through, very earthy energy, and very tuned in. One of the simplest things that I could say to you is grounding down through your feet. And if you visualize roots growing out from different points in your feet, and then those roots, just feeling the subtle energies and vibrations that come up through those roots. And especially if you put on those frequencies, like the 174 or whatever it is that you find, doing that and then calling that up. What I'm seeing is that this root is trying to heal your heart, okay? There's something that is needed. There is some sort of expression of independence, of earned wisdom that you're meant to step into and claim. I see you working on this, right? I feel like you have really focused a lot of energy into it. But there's still this kind of, I feel like it gets caught in the ego. I feel like it gets caught in the solar plexus. It gets caught in the self. So there's a need to clear and balance the solar plexus as well. And really then start to bring energy into the heart and allow the heart to speak, because there are memories and there's wisdom in the heart that is needing to come forward right now. With the ancient ones, the messenger of water and the badger spirit, there's something that's trying to get your attention. There's something that is trying to bring your attention to certain emotions, certain feelings that you have that are going to create ultimately a lot of stability. I feel like this could be your ancestors that are leading you to this, or an ancestral guide or a family guide, someone that is connected to you by, or was connected to you in this life by blood, is trying to get your attention, to lead you forward. And I feel like they're leading you forward to something that you will love, to something that will be the equivalent of the love that you had, for instance, for your mother. But it's in a different form. It's in a form where you are liberated, where you are not held into that same structure. Yeah, there's this fearlessness, be fearless and bold with the badger spirit. I always think that this badger card is so funny, because the badger is kind of a miserable, grumpy man to me. You know, maybe it's the wind in the willows, I don't know. And then, like, adorned with these flowers, it's like someone that's being dressed up as something that they're not. And maybe you've been dressing yourself with this kind of, this image. You know, you've worn boldness and fearlessness as a cloak, or you've been perceived as those things, but on the inside it's not the same. I feel like this is what is starting to integrate for you now. So ultimately the advice is to tap into your innate root wisdom, to connect with the animal realm, to watch and observe how they deal with certain situations, because they are very embodied. They have a very embodied wisdom. If you can, be very near to the water and be very open to the messages that you receive. If something comes to you and wants to lead you somewhere, if a thought or a feeling comes to your heart, like a future memory I'm getting, like if you're on a beach or something like that, and some vision of the future comes up, follow it in your body. Follow the feeling of it in your body. And notice when you become uncomfortable. Notice when the fear kicks in. What do you do when the fear kicks in? There's something, I'm hearing this song by the Distillers. It's called, if you don't like punk, don't listen to it. It's called Drain the Blood. But I think it's coming through because it's about draining the blood. It's like moving beyond familial lessons or familial bonds. Not that you have to move beyond, like, not be with your family. That's not what I'm saying. It's more like moving beyond what they taught you and moving into what the ancestors teach you, like the deeper familial wisdom. So there's a need to kind of drain this blood. The heart is wise. That's one of the lines. The heart is wise. I really feel like that song is about, it's like the kinds of friends that you make when your family isn't satisfying you, or the kinds of people you attract are representative of some kind of dysfunction in that situation. And so that may relate for you, but you can always check out the lyrics for the song. You don't have to listen to it. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave you there so it doesn't get too long, but that is what I have for you. Show your appreciation for this channel in any way that feels right to you, if you want to. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye. If you selected pile number 2 or Lightning, this is your reading. You have Lightning, the Crow, and the Rainmaker. Ooh. You're in need of a bit of chaos. This is coming through. There's a band called Heilung, and I don't know the name of the song, but I'm hearing that song in my head. It's like deep drums. It's a dark current. It's calling in the storm. It's calling in these intense forces to make change. Okay, so big things may be happening for you right now. It may be that what you've called in or what you've been asking for can only come through this powerful shift. Messenger of air, Page of fire, 9 of fire. All right, you have the Swan Spirit. Time for a deep dive. Skunk Spirit, know your worth. And Hawk Spirit, let Spirit be your guide. Just give me a moment. All these bitter pills to swallow. Wallowing and shy. She bit her lip until it bled. To taste life. There's a call to examine your self-destructive behaviors. As you wander into the shadows to acknowledge the conflicts that you've buried instead of fought. Someone's coming in with a message that's going to hit hard. It's going to disrupt everything. And I feel that you will try to resist this. I feel that you will try to intellectualize it, reduce it, make it into something that is neat and plain, but you will not be able to do it. Ultimately, it's asking you, how are you defending yourself and losing yourself at the same time? What are the defenses that are protective and what are the defenses that are caging you? There's a sharp pain in the heart, but there's no real way to access this sharp pain and move it through because the focus here is in the upper chakras. Okay, so there's a lot of energy going into the upper chakras. Maybe you're getting a lot of information coming in psychically or peripherally, like in your visions, however you receive that kind of information. And it's stopping everything at the throat. So issues with the throat may come up quite a bit. There's a need to push through beyond the throat down into the heart space. To let yourself feel this pain. This, if it's not pain, it's illuminating what you haven't wanted to see. With the Nine of Fire, it feels like she's seeing some drawings or some writings that you may want to go back in your journals or back if you have anything like that and just look at things that you've written, and it feels like there's messages left for you there. It feels like your past self knew this was coming in some way and wrote to you from your past to now. With the Crow and Hawk, you have very, very powerful guidance here. Spirit is with you. You are receiving a lot of information. There's no doubt of that. But there is nothing... There's a disconnect between the upper chakras and the lower chakras, okay? The information that you're receiving is not being grounded. It's not being sent down into the root. And the root is where this Nine of Fire is. The root and the sacral. That's where it lives. I'm almost getting, there's like, I don't know how to say this without being vulgar. It's like something is being stuffed up inside of you. from the lower, like there's like a blockage there, so it can't drain. It's like every time you go to drain it, you stuff it back up again. It's like everything is just kind of being stored inside of you. And it's getting muddy. It's not overly clear. I'm seeing a strong emphasis here on the root to crown connection. So this is called the cauldron of warming. And the root to crown connection is your connection to the material world and everything that's kind of come before us, our lineage, our physical lineage, and matter, I guess you could say. And the crown chakra is your connection to universal energy, and this is where you're very, very clear. It's almost like the guidance is to send it straight down into the root. Okay, with the Celtic chakra spiral, and there's a link to it in the description box below, just like a brief explanation. There is this way that you move from the heart to solar plexus, throat, sacral. Yeah, this is definitely the progress. Throat, sacral is really going to help you up to the crown, down through the root, and into the third eye. So if you can start to push the energy through those centers in that order and visualize that, it will start to get things moving so that the crown and the root are communicating here. Because I think that is going to help you to reestablish your sense of worth, reestablish your ability to navigate the darker spaces without getting stuck or without this. It's almost like compartmentalizing is what I'm getting. This is creating an overwhelm, and the storms will just keep coming. Like you're calling in these storms, you're calling in this chaos to help you get out of it. But you can do this work internally by doing what I said there, moving through things, checking in with this, the drawings on the wall, and also noting that this page of fire, it's like you can cut it down, but it's going to keep popping up again. It's like that, what is it called? Is it a hydra? The many-headed beast where you cut off a head and it just grows back again. That's exactly what's happening here. So if there's a certain conflict that keeps repeating itself, it's because you're cutting off the head, but it's just continuously regenerating. The root of the issue has not been seen. I'm hearing something about there being an obsession with things looking clean. That there's this kind of, it's almost like when you clean up and everything on the surface looks really, really nice, but if you were to open a closet, everything would fall out. It's that kind of tending to the appearance of things and valuing and tending to that appearance over anything else. I feel like once you clear this channel between the crown and the root, there's going to be a lot to say. And I think that you're afraid to say it. But you are well supported here by Spirit. There's a sudden realization that comes in once you have fully defeated this many-headed page of fire. It's almost like they come in to tell you, like, no, you're not there yet. But you resist them or block them out or try not to see them. Cleanse in the water. Cleanse in the water and illuminate the dark. And that is what I have for you. Please show your appreciation for this channel in whatever way feels right and good to you. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Pile number 3, when I was shuffling, I was getting anger is a strong theme here. And then with the cards that I'm now pulling out, I can see why. There's some kind of, oh, interesting. What am I doing? Okay. I'm pulling the animal cards, I guess. This one's going to be out of order. There's some kind of violation of your safety or your security that's coming up here, of your heart, maybe a heartbreak, something very destabilizing. Like you feel like you've been robbed of something. And this is a you know, like a foundational, like a foundational violation. Like this is something that it's not a small thing. It's not something you can just get over. And if anyone has said that to you, I'm here to tell you it's not something that you can just get over. It's like you've been fed something under the pretense that it was nourishing or nurturing, but instead it was just filler. And this energy made itself your world. But it's like there was so much happening you couldn't see clearly, or there is so much happening that you can't see clearly. With the owl here, it's really disappointed. There's a disappointment. There's this gravelly kind of sense of self. I feel that the solar plexus, in terms of energy centers, the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root, everything beneath the throat. We're looking at all bodily intelligences coming on, needing to come online and balance. This fire that you feel is justified. I want you to know that. Whatever has it reached into your heart and it stole from you your sense of self. And so this anger is righteous, this anger is just. And there's this feeling of potential wasted, or this feeling of something was wasted, something was stolen, was taken. But there is a reminder here with the Queen of Earth at your foundation that that world was created by you. And this is the end of a cycle. And that they didn't take everything from you. This situation or this person. Once the clutter or it's noise. A lot of it is noise. A lot of it is voice in your head kind of noise. Or this could be avoiding certain conversations. So not even avoiding. I don't even want to say avoiding. It's more like just not entertaining conversations that are not productive. Where it's just like gossipy, or for the sake of being like, if the only thing you can say is, wow, that's just crazy, it's not really helping you. It's like there's a need here for rebuilding of yourself, and the anger is important to make sure that you don't drop into sadness. okay? So as long as you can start to stabilize that anger, there's a need here to cleanse your mind of a certain kind of dogma or principle or set of rules that maybe you were living by with this person or this situation. It's like you woke up. It's like you woke up and you're angry. And you realize that all the things that you thought were nurturing and the things that you fought for and the things that you defended and the things that you were being fed, all of it was devoid of nutrients. But now, in the compost, I guess you could say, this is when the nutrients comes in. This is when it can feed you. This is when it is starting to bring wisdom forward for you. With the elephant spirit, it's saying learn from the past. And there's these markings of the past. With the end of a cycle, coming into a new level of independence, wisdom. Fire is a purifying energy. So if there's something that you need to burn, if you need to burn, it would be helpful for you to be near fire to set certain things on fire. You can draw something, write something. Maybe you have a certain object from a person or a situation that is symbolic that you can burn. Hopefully, just make sure that it's that it's not totally toxic to burn it. Like, don't burn plastic or something like that. But just, yeah. And then move that energy through your body. Move the fire through your body and your mind's eye. And just burn away all those dark places, all those, and also to dry out some of those damp spaces where it's like your heart is dripping, like your heart is this like damp, moldy thing. Sorry, I don't know how else to explain it. And like it's like a cave, and you're bringing this fire into the cave to purify the space and to burn away the cobwebs, to burn away this may have been something that happened a while ago, if there's cobwebs for some of you, but you're burning away the like layer of gunk that has developed around your heart space to try and free it. There's something I feel that you can say or sing or write or create that is going to help others who are like you. There's a kind of authority that this situation has brought you to, where the wisdom of it elevates you in a way. Nothing is wasted. Learn from the past. Clear the clutter. It's a hybrid learning situation is what they're telling me. It's this kind of way in which all of the elements are converging within you for this wisdom. You have the owl ushers you to the other world, or ushers you to, like, is the I'm forgetting the word now. The psychopomp, like the bird that guides you in death if you die at night, where the crow does that during the day. So there's this kind of passage, like a rite of passage that you're undergoing right now that feels frustrating. It feels like heavy and damp, and like maybe you've got some aches and pains in your body. But as you start to purify with the fire, then bring in this air element. So an intention, something that you want to fill that space with. To me, it looks like filling the space with something that nourishes the heart. So it could be love. You can just say love. and that feeling of love and fill that space. But all of these elements, what I was saying before, all of these elements are converging on you at this time, where you're really coming into an understanding of maybe your temper, the aspects of fire within you, the purification by fire. I see you very strong and stable in your earth element. And this element of water, of feeling, that there may be some difficulty with how you identified as an emotional person before, but it feels like whatever the situation was, it was a catalyst for you to develop a stronger sensibility or a stronger to come into your power as an emotional person. Emotional people get a lot of crap for being emotional or sensitive. And this is like, yeah, I'm emotional, I'm sensitive, and that's my superpower. All right, but be gentle with yourself. I don't feel like it's not a great idea to be around a lot of people. It's not a great idea to go to people for advice right now. Spirit is going to give you your best advice. Your heart, like your own body, like embodied wisdom, because the cycle is in need of closing out. So be gentle. You're healing, and that's allowed. All right, show your appreciation for my channel in whatever way feels right. But personal readings are available. All of that information is in the description box below. We'll see you very soon. Take care. And if you chose pile number 4, this is your reading. And you have the card, The Journey. Upper World, okay. And Earth Keeper. I feel like Earth Keeper is your current energy and you're being called into the upper realms. You may be receiving a lot of messages from birds or a lot of wisdom that's trying to come in. I'm getting here for you that it actually comes through when you're speaking. So if you feel like you just feel drawn to having a conversation and you're not really sure why, it could be that some of this wisdom is trying to come through. Yeah. It's trying to come through in conversation with others. This could also be wisdom that comes in from the upper world through others, through their mouths. I feel like so much is coming through in conversation, and so much of this has to do with the throat, with opening the throat, and with allowing the throat to take you somewhere else. It's like a vessel for something else. That you may be called to speak publicly. You may be called to speak to people you wouldn't normally speak to. There's something of that here. I feel like there's a collaboration in the works, some kind of situation where you will teach or be taught or have or facilitate these conversations. It's almost like your speaking is the kindling for some kind of conversational fire, like a collective experience of growth. Starfish spirit, open to infinite possibility. Fox spirit, okay. And hummingbird spirit. For you, conversation right now, speaking, singing, keeping that open is going to do several things for you. We have a card here of heartbreak, a card here of grief, and then a card of building and collaboration. And this heartbreak or this conflict is something that is playing out from the kind of astral realms. It's something that is needed. This conflict is needed. Because it's going to start to expand the possibilities of what you can think or be or do. Yeah, it's tied into some kind of quest for perfection or something like that. Like it's tied into this divine or sacred pursuit. I'm feeling that for some of you, there may be this relationship with self-exploration or journey work or consciousness there's an emotional avoidance of it. There's an aspect of integrating the emotions that is absent. So it's like you receive images, you receive visions from the divine, but you don't allow them to integrate. You kind of keep them in the self as like, I can receive these messages and this is what I've heard. But there's almost like it's separate from yourself, like it's not for you, it's for other people. But you're reminded that that wisdom is also for yourself. With the Earth Keeper, the Three of Earth, and the Hummingbird Spirit, there's a need to ground. There's a need to ground, just generally. There's a need to ground. There's a need to think on your feet with the fox here as well. There's this sense of my visions and my life are separate. My spirit and myself are separate. This is reminding you that it's all the same thing. There's a vibration that comes with the hummingbird. And this is how I read the hummingbird. There's a vibration that comes with the hummingbird that you can use to kind of harmonize things. When I was a kid, I grew up in a chocolate store. My dad made chocolate. And one of the stages, like you pump chocolate into a mold, and then one of the stages is to put it on this like vibrating pad to make all of the chocolate level. And I feel like that's what you have to do, is like put yourself into this vibration where your mind, body, and spirit are all functioning as one, are harmonizing. This is interesting too because it's done with images in your third eye. So it's calling into your third eye images of stability, safety, security, and starting from there. So you want to find a space, a room, a place in nature that is really, really comfortable, homey, safe for you. And from that space, start to integrate and feel your way through these messages that you are receiving. It's almost like, okay, if you walk out into a forest or a place in nature, I'm getting here that you pull everything into your third eye. So close your eyes, and as you do that, pull everything that you see around you into your third eye space, and then start to allow it to almost drip down. I'm getting it like it's going into the center of my head, and then it's dripping down through down through the throat. Oh, it feels so good. Down through the throat and down through, it's like a cleansing almost, a cleansing vision that has all of the sensory experiences. I'm seeing a pine forest, but wherever you are, whatever you have available to you, this could be standing in front of a garden, you know, finding some sort of peace and peaceful, tranquil space, and then drawing it all into your body, feeling it down all the way into your toes. So it's almost like your toes can smell it. It's very interesting. It's incorporating all sensory experience through this vision. There's a perfect cleverness that is being called out here. There's a way in which you are able to clever your way out of integrating these things, or talk your way out of your grief or your heartbreak or your, you know, it's like, it could feel numb. It's like you need an infusion. But you don't, really. It's just to open the channel through the heart. The key connection here is the third eye to the throat. And then the sense of self that is being fed by these visions to be brightened again, because it's dull. It's almost like what you're avoiding because you're afraid it will tear down your sense of self, but it's actually what will build it. The sacral boundary is an interesting one. Something is not quite hitting the mark. Something is not quite infusing or integrating there as well. This could be fertility issues. Go into the third eye, visualize that space. Visualize the connection. If this is a fertility thing, visualize the sperm connecting with the egg, or whatever it is that needs to come together. This is like, let's say you submitted a proposal. This is visualizing the person receiving your proposal on their desk, and just like really like having that proposal, like it's almost like you're a ghost that goes into the room, okay? You can just visualize this. You're a ghost that goes into the room and puts your proposal on the top of the stack and really makes it stand out. Like maybe you connect some kind of peripheral event to it for that person, so it really makes it stand out. It's like following your vision very clearly into these different situations. Embodying a ghost is very interesting. Walking places you wouldn't normally be able to go through your vision, through your third eye. I feel like you have a lot to explore there. If you haven't done any of this work, I would recommend finding guided visualizations, guided meditations on YouTube, and just trying out different exercises and seeing what fits. I also do custom work, so if there's something that you are called to do and you need more help to work through that, I can channel a a meditation for you, but you certainly don't have to go through me. It's just that is there for you if you need it. This is very interesting. It's the way it feels in my body is that you can walk as a phantom. Like you have the ability to walk in dreams and in visions. It's like you have a key to anywhere you want to go. But there's a need to ground that. And there is a call to collaborate with others. So maybe finding a teacher, or finding a community, or finding something will help you to integrate this. Someone or something will help you to integrate this. I feel like you're going to know by the tone in their voice. This has been a very strange reading. I hope it was helpful. Show your appreciation for this channel in whatever way feels right to you. I appreciate you so much. Take care.